Hey there, welcome to another episode of Mundane Designs. I'm your host Mundane. This video is part of my controller series, and today we're going to actually be talking about my preferred controllers. So controllers are actually a very important part of video games. It's basically just how the player interacts with the system, the games, the menus. It is your point of contact. It is the way you traverse your actions or give your commands into the game so that the character does what you want it to do, the game does what you want it to do. And while I could go over very specifics of like which controllers I have, brand and stuff like that is basically a personal thing. It is not my place to tell you a particular brand is better than the other. Now, as for physical layouts, this is just what I prefer. Some of these things I'm still trying to learn. I'm trying to get over a learning curve or a skill barrier to entry and stuff like that. So just take it with a grain of salt. For fight sticks, I really like fighting games and shmups. That's where I want to play almost all of my fight sticks. And I get it. I'm not very good at a fight stick yet. It's also known as an arcade stick or anything like that. I'm not too much on the hitbox stuff. I want to have my lever, I want to have my joystick. But I'm an 80s kid. I grew up with arcades. It's just one of those things. I mean, in some of my videos, you see my X-Arcade over here, and yes, I know X-Arcade does not make the best parts or anything like that, but I've thrown a couple of upgrades in there, and it's something that I really enjoy having. It's a very nostalgic feel to me. 6 face buttons. Let's see, what's an example of this one? The Sega Saturn 3D controller, or basically any of the Sega Saturn controllers. I prefer 6 face buttons on 6-button fighters, and other very specialized games like Radiant Silvergun. It just feels better playing it on 6 face buttons. And it's not really to bash on anyone or downplay anything. These are just my preferences, and hopefully my preferences will be able to help other people discover ways where they can enjoy games better. Not to say that my way is the best, it's just something to consider. All right, moving right along. We're gonna go to the 4 face buttons. I like the 4 face button configuration for shmups, unless it's a specialized one like Radiant Silvergun, although I know people in the comments, oh, that's only 3 guns. Yes and no. And if you know, you know. Then there's the 4-button fighters that I really like. Let's see, run and guns are really good on 4 face buttons for me. It just feels correct. And then any kind of platformers. Now, I know that there are run and guns and platformers on systems that have fewer face buttons. There's 3, 2, and 1. Honestly, you don't really get much of a choice when you're playing those systems that only have either 3 face buttons, 2 face buttons, or 1 face button. It's just the way it is. I'm trying to stick with things where you have more of a choice. So the next we have 2 shoulder buttons and 2 trigger buttons with 2 analog sticks. Guys, this is first-person shooter all day long. I absolutely love playing my first-person shooter either on the Switch Pro controller, the Wii U Pro controller. If you got two analogs and you've got, you know, two shoulders and two triggers, I can play an FPS on it, and it's just good. It just feels great. Yes, I know mouse and keyboard gives you a lot more accuracy and stuff, but we're trying to stick with console here. And I know that there are console adapters for mouse and keyboard. But it's just kind of fun to have it all there right at your fingertips, not really having to like look at a keyboard or set your hand up correctly. You just get it done, and it's great. Now, I'm not very good at what the next controller is, but I'm trying to learn. It's kind of discouraging every once in a while. The steering wheel for driving games. I've got two steering wheels. One of them I picked up at a thrift store for like $5, and I've used that one to play around on the PC and stuff. And then I decided that I wanted to get a very nice steering wheel for my Xbox One, because honestly, the game that I want to have more simulation based on driving games is the Forza Horizon series. I'm just a big fan of it. It's a lot of fun. I love the exploration. And so I'm trying my best to figure out a way to get over the learning curve and just play with the steering wheel. It's an immersive experience, and it's kind of how I want to go with this. And then the next, we're gonna have the HOTAS, or I don't know how you say it. You can correct me in the comments. So basically a flight stick with the throttle. I want to get better at flight sims with these. Back in a long time ago, I played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter on the PC quite a bit. Also played Secret Weapons of the Luftwaffe on my dad's old 486, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember just playing with the joystick, and it was just, again, it was just all about that immersion and not breaking that immersion. Now, reaching a little bit back in the conversation, the arcadey stuff, like arcade style driving games and arcade style flight sims, I'm probably gonna stick with, or it's arcade style flight sim, that's not really a thing, but I'm gonna stick with, you know, your basic dual analog 4 trigger controller with 4 face buttons. I really, if it's more arcadey style, I'm gonna drift towards that. If it's more sim style, I'm gonna drift towards, you know, steering wheels and joysticks with throttles and stuff like that, so that it's a more immersive experience. I want to lean into the experience that's being provided by the game. Now, speaking of leaning into an experience, my favorite mech controller, and yes, I have 2 of them. It's the Steel Battalion controller. There's no real way of sugarcoating it. I love piloting the vertical tanks with that thing. And yeah, I know it's kind of cheating, but guys, if you've played with one, you know, and just how great it is to be able to play with that controller and have that much fun. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for us here today. If you have any kind of favorite controllers or anything like that, definitely leave them in the comments below. And I look forward to like having this discussion with you.
And that's it for this episode of Mondane Designs. I'm your host, Mondane, and I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. I have videos on the 1st and 15th of every month, and I look forward to sharing them with you. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. And that's it for this episode of Mondane Designs. I'm your host, Mondane, and I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. I have videos on the 1st and 15th of every month, and I look forward to sharing them with you. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.